How you look so perfect on your worst days. Double C it purchase, you deserve it.
What's up? It's your girl ShaynaMone, but you can call me Shay, and I'm back with another video. Military video at that. So, as you can see by the title, today I'm going to be talking about hairstyles in the military for females. So, I have my list right here, and I'm going to pretty much go through the list of hairstyles you can have. I'm not going to read the regulation because I think I did that in the last video, but I will put the regulation right here for you all to read, as well as put it down in the description box. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. The first hairstyle I have down is straight backs or cornrows. Now, I already know what you're going to say. Some people might be saying, okay, I don't want to be looking like Set It Off. It's not even like that. I feel like you can really rock straight backs right now. I think it's a big thing. It's a thing. It's coming back into style. I used to have them. Actually, I used to get them quite often last year. I feel like that's the best for when you're about to go to the field, when you just don't feel like doing your hair, when I feel like straight backs and cornrows, it's just easy. It's just, I like mine's long because it's, like I said, it's more of a style. And definitely in the summertime when you're sweating a lot, straight backs and cornrows is the best way to go. The next are braids, really any type of braids that are in regulation. So micro braids, cynically twist, tribal braids, box braids, anything that aren't too bulky and look like a fab type of hairstyle, you're allowed to get in the Army. Just make sure that your bun is not huge, because I've seen people with like these huge buns and it's not in regulation. So, and depending on who you come across, you can get in a lot of trouble for it. So make sure your hair is in regulation when it comes to braids, and just make sure your braids aren't too small, aren't too big, because it's just a no. The next thing is dreads. Now, the Army regulation did just change, and it changed a couple months ago, and women can wear dreads in the Army, and it's the same thing as braids, as long as they're not in a like fab type of style, or they can fit into a bun. And if they can't fit into a bun, it can't be, below your collar, things like that. So dreads are a thing in the military. Don't think because you have dreads you cannot join the Army. Now for men it's a different story, but as far as women, yeah, you can. That I recommend personally is sew-ins. Now sew-ins, I feel like if you're a girl that likes to have their hair done and just likes to have their hair done and likes to get their hair done maybe, or doesn't mind getting their hair done maybe once a month or every other month, then I feel like sew-ins are for you, because sew-ins can go into a bun. It looks really sleek. I have a sew-in in right now, and I feel like it was just the best choice I could have went with, because I was wearing wigs before, and I'm going to get into that next. But as far as sew-ins, I feel like you can really just, put your hair into a bun, and it's a protective style. The next thing would be wigs. Now, me personally, I like wigs, but I don't like wigs all the time during work hours, just because it's kind of like an extra hat on your head to me. For example, when we sweat in the summertime, it can be a lot, or if it's raining in the wintertime or summertime and cold, it can be just a lot on your head. So I personally don't like wigs as far as at work. I do have a work wig because it's thin and it's breathable and I could just put it on, but as a preference, I don't really care for wigs. I'd rather do a sew-in instead. Now, if you follow me over on Instagram, you do see that I wear wigs quite often. I feel like if you're a person that likes to experiment with colors and things like that, and you want to just look different, a little different on the weekends, wigs are really, really good. Now, frontals, I personally don't feel that they're good for when you're at work, simply because that you sweat. When you sweat, it lifts your frontal unless you get some really, really strong glue, and sometimes that messes up like your hair. So I personally feel like wigs are good more so for the weekend, not for the weekdays. Now, like I said, I do have a wig for work, but I wear a headband. It's a frontal wig, but I wear a headband with it. That way I can like hide where the lace is. The next thing I have down on my list is buns. Of course, a classic bun. You can't really do no harm with it as long as it's in regulation. And the only reason I don't like classic buns with your natural hair is because you're pulling at your hair sometimes, and that can cause to breakage. So I would say try to switch it up, but buns, you can't go wrong with the classic bun as long as it's in the regulation. The next thing I have on my list is short hair or pixie cuts, as long as that's in the regulation. Everything will always go back to the regulation when it comes to anything in the Army. So just make sure you're looking back at the regulation. For women, our hair is supposed to be like a certain length. It's not really, really long. I think it's between 1 to 3 centimeters. If I can find it, I'll put it right here. But it's not really long, but at the same time, it still is a regulation for everything. So make sure you're referring back to that if you want to cut your hair. I personally had short hair before, and I loved it at first, but once it starts to grow, it's harder to maintain. So just make sure you're prepared for that when you do cut your hair and you do decide to grow it back out. You do have to find different styles and different ways to keep it in the regulation when it starts to grow, because you can wear your hair out natural, but when the bulk is too big or kind of going past your PC, it's going to mess it up. It's going against the regulation, and you don't want that. Like I said, you can get in trouble for not following the regulation, of course. What you have down is twist and braids. This is more so for my natural women. So for example, if you would like to wear your hair out in twist outs and braid outs, I say during the week just twist down your hair, and then on the weekend you could take out your twist and have really, really pretty curls and have nice twists. And that will conclude this video. If you do have any more questions about how you can wear your hair, what's in regulation, what's not in regulation, make sure you comment them down below, as well as go over and follow me on my Instagram. I am more active on Instagram. If you all enjoyed this video, today is Veterans Day, so I do want to say happy Veterans to all of my prior service members, my service members that are in the military now, and thank you for all that you do. I will see you all in the next video.
Living my best life. It's my birthday, at least that's what I'm dressed like.